everybody out there, this is me, Kat Yui. I'm just here reviewing the movie I just saw, which is Clash of the Titans. And I can tell you all that I was very excited to see this, because I love Greek mythology, and I actually recall bits and pieces of the original movie, which I decided not to watch again before I saw this. Now, I've been reading Greek mythology since I was a child. My parents had the read aloud books, and one of the ones is read aloud mythology. So I know most of the myths by heart. I never even read the Odyssey, and yet I got an A+ in high school on the Odyssey. Go me. So, as someone who is a lover of Greek mythology, what did I think of Clash of the Titans? 2 out of 5. And the only reason it gets a 2 out of 5, and it could possibly get to a 3 out of 5, is because of the pretty. I mean, the gods look pretty, the little bit we saw of them. The actors look pretty, and the special effects were pretty. My problem was, they changed things. Now, I know with mythology, you can actually change things. You've got leeway in certain areas to change things. But they changed it a lot. For one, this is going to be full of spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, or I'll try to be as vague as I can. I might try editing this later, I don't know. The love interest in the movie is not the love interest in the original movie, or in the myth at all. In fact, she has her own set of mythologies somewhere else that does not leave her human and, immortal. Her thing is very weird. It involves a cow. Her cow, yes, very weird. But she's the love interest in this movie. The movie was only an hour and a half long. That's not enough time. Hades was once again regulated. Is that even the right word? Forget it. Was once again made into the bad guy, which always kind of annoys me. I mean, once or twice you can be, okay, Hades is the bad guy. Kind of like once or twice you can be like, Hera's a total bitch and evil. Hercules and Xena, I'm looking at you along with Ares. But when you make Hades the bad guy over and over and over again, which Hollywood has been doing, I just don't get it, because he was a misanthrope. I can't say it. You know what I mean. He was a depressed guy in charge of all the dead. Not hell. He wasn't in charge of hell. He was in charge of Tartarus. He was in charge of the Elysium Fields. He was in charge of that war room that the soldiers go to. He was in charge of all the dead, not just the bad guys. So he is not evil. I don't know why all Hollywood movies make him evil. They blended stories together that didn't need blending. They compacted this movie. They kept killing the characters that I liked right when I started to like them. And just... For one, originally, this is even the original movie, the Pegasus comes from the body of Medusa. After her head is chopped off, her blood pours out, and out comes the Pegasus. It's supposed to be a beautiful thing coming out of a horrible thing. It's a whole big thing. And also, Medusa had 2 sisters. 2. Then there's a whole bit with the constellations, where the king and queen, mother and father of Andromeda, were put into the sky, and were turned upside down for half the year because they were that much of an asshole. 2 of them. Gemma Arterton, you're a good actress. I like you. You're pretty. But you need to stop being in this movie so much. I mean, and now I've forgotten her name. Kira from Chronicles of Riddick, or Gwen from Angel, whatever your name is this week. You weren't in this movie enough. Your character should have been in this movie more. And shown more emotion besides, I hate my life, my family is horrible, why don't we care for the poor? Perseus, Sam Worthington, you're pretty. Very pretty. But you're still not making me feel actor. You're making me feel pretty bit of meat. Buff piece of meat. Occasionally does sad eyes. Very, very well, I'm sad. But no. They kept killing all the nice people. I saw Zeus and Hades were in there a lot. They had lines. Lots of lines. Poseidon had 2 lines. I think Apollo had a line. And I also think he was played by Bashir from DS9. But the rest of the gods were in it barely. You never saw any of their faces. You saw them pop out. I wanted more watching the gods observing the situation. It was too short, too compacted. I didn't get to know the characters individually that well. One of them prayed a lot to the gods. Another one had 2 flutes. Another one was a bit sarcastic and yet old. Then the other one, I couldn't tell if he was an asshole or just severely depressed and wanting to die for his country. So, you know what? You guys didn't do a very good job. You could have done better. In fact, I kind of wish you would. So Hollywood, the next time you decide to make a movie out of a myth, go with Egyptian mythology. You can screw all around with that kind of stuff and add in whatever you want with mortals. Why? Because there ain't no mortals in most Egyptian mythology. They usually stick to gods. So if you want a good movie, give me Egyptian mythology with mortals added to it. The only other mythology movie I know that's coming out is Thor. And that's less mythology and more Marvel is awesome. So, and the end of me rambling complete and utter nonsense and possibly spoiling a couple of you. Oh, one last thing. Bald eagle? Why is there a bald eagle in this movie? Please tell me that. Why is there a bald eagle in this movie? Isn't that an American bird? Do they even have that bird in Greece? Ever? And the owl shout out was cool. Whatever its name was. But it was there for 5 seconds. I wish they would have brought it. I would have loved it to come. They cut out certain subplots that were good. They cut out certain things that were good. So basically, I surmise the movie wasn't as good as it should have been. It should have been better. There should have been less of certain things that made no sense. Creatures that were injected into the story that didn't need to be. Mushes of characters that didn't need to be. They just screwed it. Wasn't as good as it should have been. So 2 out of 5. The only thing saving you was your special effects and pretty people. And Liam Neeson. Being Liam Neeson. I could just listen to that man speak. Really, I should shut up now. So that was my review. 2 out of 5. Do better next time, Hollywood.